Um, so the first thing to know whenever you're looking to get in to edit your content so you can optimize it is to get into the back end of the site. I've got my website here. After this first slash where the domain is, I'm going to type in inbound marketing. I'm actually going to open this in another window so we don't lose our site. Hit enter. And it's going to take me where I can log in. Okay. Okay, good. Thanks, Carol. I just wanted to make sure, since I'd heard from everybody else on that, whether or not you guys were able to hear me. So, okay. With the dashboard, if you're getting in to be able to edit your pages, you'll go to website content page. Because the first thing we're going to do is look at what is, let me pull up our sample site. So this is just one of our sample sites, and you'll notice that these items here you've got already as provided content when you get a website from us. So we're going to talk about how to optimize that content even better than it already is. The way we got to that is we went to the inbound marketing. From here we go to the website content page, and this is how we wound up here. This is where you're going to spend quite a bit of your time whenever you're editing or updating page information for your site. This is where you would create custom pages if you needed to target a specific type of person or a specific type of buyer, which if you're not really already doing that, at least in one capacity or another, you really need to think about that, because people want to work with experts, which is one of the reasons why the sites that are very, very focused on a specific topic tend to rank well for things that those types of people are searching for. For example, you've got a first-time home buyer that may not necessarily know that new construction is something that they could afford to do because they don't know how the construction loan process works. So if you focus on first-time buyers, those types of content or that type of content and information that you can give to them will help them build the trust and really peg you as that expert of, yeah, you really know for first-time buyers all of the different options that are available. So I'm not just pretty much stuck looking at whatever houses are already built that are on the market. And people like options. And just because you're targeting one specific type of customer doesn't mean that other people won't be able to find you, because yeah, if you've got a lot of stuff aimed at first-time buyer information, the buying process itself really isn't that different. Even if somebody's already gone through it once, they can still get and do a new construction loan. Whereas before, even second time around, they may not be aware that that's an option. And they think that, only people that have already set aside all this money can do that. So with the first action strategy that I want to teach you guys is how to interlink your pages. Why do you want to do this? It's because it encourages people to spend more time on your site. They're able to get additional information related to the page or related to something that's on the page without having to know where to go back in your navigation, find it in the list. It gives a very natural and very easy journey to follow. If you link to multiple pages within the content of your paragraph, highly recommend that, just because then they can kind of pick and choose what they want. Again, it's about presenting options and kind of helping guide them on that journey, to where even if they read your first, the page that they did the search on that came up that they landed on, they're not quite ready to give you that lead information yet. It lets them kind of continue to look through your site to get more information. You're presenting value, and that's the key there, is you want to make sure that you're presenting valuable information that's relevant to helping them out, because that's how they build trust in you and are willing to fill out a lead capture form or give you a call or whatever. So I'm going to take this, this 9 steps to owning page. Let's go to it here. Click here. And you'll notice that I've got, kind of step 1, get ready to buy. Step 2, real estate agent, begin looking for a house. And we have all of this content that's in here already. The best ways to link to other content isn't just to put, copy and paste something like this up there. You want to have it in line to where, somebody's reading this and then they can click. And I can change I should probably actually go back and change the colors on this, on my links a little bit, to where they stand out a little bit more from the text, because it's not very, very obvious that this is a link, but that's something that our design team can fix if you need them to. But we'll do that. And if I click on this, this takes me into a buyer's checklist that has more information on it. So you can see how it kind of can take somebody deeper into your site. So if you've got a lot of really good information, but it might be a little too detailed to have it kind of this navigational level, you can still have that content on your site, and then people can get there either through links like this, or if they're doing a search, the search engine is going to take them to the page that has the information they're actually looking for, regardless of if it's in your navigation or not. So you don't have to worry about that. So there's good news there. So how to create a link like this. To edit one of these pages, we're going to click on 9 steps to owning. Just click on the page name. And here's where you can kind of see that there is where we've already placed in some of these links that are in line with the text. So it's very easy to continue reading past that, and then if I decide I want to go back and click that link, that can happen. Just because I know we've had some other people join us, I want to let you know that if you've got any questions, it doesn't have to be what I'm talking about right now. Please feel free to type them in the chat window and I'll answer them in turn. What we're discussing right now is how to link to other pages on your site to encourage people to spend more time, which does help your search engine rank, because people are interacting with your site. And the other way it actually helps you, not just search engines aside, is the longer somebody's spending on your site, the more trust they're building in you. So you're going to be getting somebody that's a little bit more informed whenever they give you the information to become the lead. So that's why it's worth it to put a lot of your knowledge on your website, because then that's usually a little bit less explaining, and you can really help them focus on their individual situation and their home search. So it helps you be a lot more targeted as a service provider, which customers like, and that gives, encourages them to give good reviews, which if you're not setting that expectation that you're going to be asking for that type of feedback, highly encourage that you start, with whatever your next transaction or interaction with your customer, saying, hey, we really appreciate feedback. Please give us, a testimonial. Usually it's best if you have a, sorry, I'm going down a little bit of a rabbit hole here, but a site like a Google business page where somebody can leave you a review, or leave a review on your Facebook page, Yelp, even Zillow. just because that's where a lot of people will initially find you, potentially, is on Zillow, just because that's where a lot of people will go to do their search initially. So encouraging people to give you reviews, because that does also factor into your search rank. Sorry, back to the original task, how to link to another page. Sorry. Let's see. Where would be a good place to link? Let me scooch this out a little bit. So loan process, that's linking to a loan process page. So begin looking to the house. We can even do here we go, we can do must-have list. And again, we can link this to the same buyer's checklist that we had earlier. So we're going to highlight the words that we want to create, turn into the link. We're going to go to custom links. We're going to go to my selected content, and the difference between selected content and non-selected content is whether or not it shows up in the navigation. Selected means that somebody can go to your navigation and find that page. So the next question is, do we have the buyer's checklist? No. Doesn't look like we do. Alright then, so in that case, since I know we don't have that, I'm going to look in non-selected content, and it's listed alphabetically, home buyer checklist. So you can go through and do that. If you had links to school districts in your area, this would be a good, we don't have any provided pages on that just because that is hyper-local information, and you want to make sure that you also have content on your site that is hyper-local, like neighborhoods, maybe some school district information, community information, however you want to slice and dice that, have it on your site, because that's where you can get one over on Zillow and Trulia, because they can't compete with that hyper-local information. And if I do have anybody that is a mortgage broker, also let me know. That way I can make sure I'm tailoring the examples I'm giving to one or both markets, depending on who we've got today as attendees. So you could do that. So if we did neighborhoods, you could link this to, maybe I know an up-and-coming neighborhood that I'm really doing either a lot of business in, or that I'm wanting to feature. So we're going to link that to, oh, here we go. We've got school districts. So if I'm working in, so if I'm working in a specific, let's link that to our Deer Creek schools. And then neighborhoods, we'll just pick one. Because the more, if you guys have ever been on Wikipedia, they're the ones that do this so well, that this type of strategy for encouraging people to stay on your site longer is often referred to as, the Wikipedia effect. Because they interlink all of their articles together, so you can have the information, click here to get more about a specific element of the overall or related subject. So if you're doing, you Google the general or something like that, you would have the information, and they might link to his hometown, specific battles, and things like that. So you could lose hours just only clicking links, not doing a search or anything like that on Wikipedia. The idea is you want to kind of create the same environment, just on a much smaller scale on your own website. So neighborhoods, let's do yeah, we'll link it to admin. And you can kind of do that through each one of the spots. You know, sending in your offer. We do have a provided writing the offer page that I know we've got. So I'm going to scroll back to my non-selected content, go down to my W's. Oop, there it is. Ah, sorry, scroll too far. There we go. So you get kind of how to do it for pages on your own site. That is one very easy thing you can do to our provided pages, to any pages that you create, and maybe while you're going through our provided pages that have that general information, you either want to edit it, works just like a word processor. I could click here and start editing the text right there. I can delete or change sections if I wanted to. It really is worth it to go in and put your own personal touch on there, because search engines want unique content. That's what ranks well. Copying and pasting, something that you saw on another site that you hear that they're doing really well, you really want to put your own spin on that, and that, depending on what type of clients you're trying to get, and again, I can't emphasize this enough, it's best to target a specific client and really kind of paint yourself as being an expert in one specific thing. Or it could be, even multiple specialties. So you could do, military relocation as one, people that are downsizing. We've got people that specialized in 55 and older communities, but that's not the main source of their business. So it may be worth it if you're really not sure where you should kind of start targeting a little bit more of your site towards. Think about the types of customers that you do business with, that the transactions go really well more often, versus, or and another option would be, well, if you're just starting out and you don't really know and don't really want to pigeonhole yourself, you're not really actually doing that. Because again, people want to work with experts, but that doesn't mean that just because you market yourself as a first-time buyer's agent, that the people that 5 or 6 years when they're looking, or they know somebody that might be looking, they're like, well, this agent was really good for us, first-time buying process, so you're already familiar with it. You still get those referrals, even if you're targeting first-time buyers. It's just a way of attracting in people that aren't necessarily coming to you through word of mouth. So it's a good way to grow your business in a specific area or specific type of customer. Okay, so let me, okay, so with this we've shown the links. Some other things that you may notice about this page, let me go back over to this, is that it's kind of written that your eye gets drawn to the step 1, step 2, step 3. There's a reason why it's written like that. On the internet, people don't really want to read through giant walls of text. It's honestly a little hard to do. So that's why a lot of times with internet articles and writing that you see that does really well, and this is something to kind of take away if you're writing your own content rather than our provided, is paragraphs of 4 to 5 short sentences are good, because you can still get all of the information. It's just kind of breaking it up a little bit visually. For some reason, I don't know really why it is, it's different on a screen versus if you're actually reading a book. So that's one idea, is kind of break it up a little bit. let me, I'm trying to think of a really good page that we've got that might has a blog post or something that it really, yeah, let me go pull up one of our blog posts, because the same applies to blog post writing as it does to any of your content pages. So the strategy that I just showed of interlinking between your pages, you write a blog article. If you've got content on your site that also is related, link to those pages on your site in the blog article, because that's going to encourage people, if they just happen to get the email to read your blog, they don't just read your article and then leave. It's, oh, and they do have information about this. So then it gets them kind of on the site where the lead capture and all of that information is, which is ultimately where you want them, because all the traffic in the world isn't going to do you a lick of good unless you're also capturing leads behind that. So let's see. I think this is one that I know. Because you'll notice that we've got this kind of broken up to where, yes, it's a little bit longer of an article just because of how it's written out, but you also can go, let me scroll back up, you go, bam, step 1, and then I get a little more information here, plus an example. Bam, step 2. So somebody that's skimming through can kind of read and see what applies to them, whether it's you're giving them steps and they don't necessarily want to read all of the whether tos and herefores and all that, or if you're doing a page like our one that I kind of use on and off to teach the class as well, as this relocating to Oklahoma City, is I don't have it written completely out, but I'm listing different areas of our local metro area that, okay, maybe I'm not looking for vibrant nightlife, but whatever I've got on item 4, a rural bedroom community, that appeals to me. So that lets me go immediately to that. Think about your own behavior when you're reading articles on the internet. You're going to skim through to kind of see if it works for you, and then if it does, you'll go back and maybe read the sections that you really want to dig a little bit deeper into. Your customers are doing the same thing. So it helps to break up your content a little bit. So let's go back to this 9 steps to owning. We've already got this. Some other tactics that we could do. Actually, I'm going to save this, and we're going to go to that relocating Oklahoma City so I can show you some of these other options. To create a custom page, you just click on Add New here. So if it's not something that we've already built in that works for you, or that you want to kind of build off of, this is how you do it. Same area where we were when we were editing 9 Steps to Owning. Just click over to Custom and click Add New. Since I've already got a page started, why not pull it up? Here we go. Okay. When you're creating a new page, it's going to ask you for the button name. The button name refers to what's going to show up in your navigation. So you'll see relocating to Oklahoma City is what we've got for this. And I keep forgetting this is a smaller window. And that's what we've got right here. The relocating to OKC, which for those of you not aware, that's usually how Oklahoma City gets referred to a lot around here. Yes, we took the airport abbreviation. It works. We're not the only city that does that, I know. Where you've got, that's what's going to show up in the web address. So you want something that people may not necessarily pay attention to it, but it is another good place to put in like a keyword or key phrase. So the idea behind trying to get this page to rank is I'm going to be competing with these guys for rank. So the first tactic that I mentioned is based off of this number one result that's here. So if I go to this, whoops, actually I'm going to open that in a new window. Because if I go to here, there's really not a whole lot of information on this page, but what they did do is, entertainment, I can click here to get, further information in this section that's going to lead me kind of down this little rabbit hole to find, things that are going to interest me in the area. So their site's getting a lot of engagement. People are staying there once they land on that page, which is why I think this one right now has that top spot, to be honest. So this is a good case example of why interlinking your pages, just taking the 5 or 10 minutes to do that on a couple of pages, or tackle 1 or 2 pages a week. You don't have to do it all in one setting. If you want to, kudos to you. But just by kind of hacking away at that a little bit over time, you can get similar effect. Plus, the information they've got is also relevant. People relocating to the area want to know, what amenities, what museums, what can I do in the area, where are the good places to eat. That's my favorite. That's my personal favorite. And then to kind of look through here, because these are the guys I'm trying to compete with. For a moment, I'm going to switch gears. I know we're still kind of on this optimization topic today. One good way to kind of think about how to get a page to rank is and again, this goes back to that, having a target customer in mind. When you're writing, pretend like you're writing to one person, and that one person is that ideal customer that you're targeting. That makes it a lot easier to write, trust me. And that also gives you kind of a mindset to put in when you're thinking about, well, what new content can I add to my site to try to get more leads, or to benefit the customers that I've got, or to attract more of this type of customer. People come to Google when they have a problem. You need to know how to fix a dishwasher. People are going to Google, how to fix a dishwasher. Relocating to Oklahoma City. That's the search phrase that I kind of picked. Here's the really cool thing, though. You'll notice that we also have results for living and moving. You do not have to hit the key or the nail on the head anymore with your keywords, because the search engines are smart enough to know, if you're talking about relocating to Oklahoma City, that you're probably also moving to Oklahoma City as well. So you'll see that the results will reflect that. Some really good ideas for keywords is think about 4 or 5 maybe longer phrases, location-specific phrases, and include them kind of naturally throughout your site, and throughout whatever content you're writing that's targeting whatever those key phrases apply to. So problems that people have are good things to kind of focus on. Making sure that your site has the answers or the information that they're looking for is key to improving your search rank. So kind of continuing with this example, let's see what this one is. If I was writing a page to kind of improve, or looking to improve a page that I already have, I would kind of read through the content and think, okay, if I were somebody looking for these answers, what would I type in a search box to get here? So you have to kind of reverse engineer it a little bit. So with this, I'm going to click on the top 2, because in all honesty, I've seen these 4 pretty much shift position over the last 1.5 years. but it's usually been these four. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking to see, okay, first, who's got the #1 spot? What is their site doing? What information is being presented? How is it being presented? Because in all honesty, I was kind of shocked that there wasn't a whole lot of information on that first page, because that's what I would have expected. So for me, I would have naturally hit the back button and wound up back here to the search results, which the bounce rate of your site does affect your search rank. And whenever somebody lands on your site, like I did to the moving to Oklahoma City link that the mouse is over right now, and hit the back button, Google registers that. Search engines register that, and they're going, maybe we should evaluate how that's ranked. And that's only just one of the factors that goes in. There's a ton of them. So let's look at this 30 things you need to know before you move there. So this is kind of good, but it's like, it's good that they've got pictures to break up the text, so that's one good tactic they're using. Doesn't look like they've got a lot of, they're not writing very long blurbs here. This one's just 2 sentences, so you can do something like this you could take this and kind of emulate it, but I don't necessarily agree with this list because all it's showing me is things to do rather than, is there anything I need to know about moving to, let's say I've lived my entire life in South Florida and I don't know, hurricanes I know of. I know how to deal with those. What do I need to know weather-wise to expect? So things like that. So those are other avenues you can take to make your version of this your own and unique. And that's the key thing, is you don't want to just kind of copy and paste what they're doing here, or what somebody similar in your area might be doing. But takeaways that you can do from this would be, maybe the format or the template more or less that they're using, but the words and things would be your own. Because again, this is a numbered list, so I'm sure it's been shared a lot. Numbered lists also get shared on social media, and that's the other key when it comes to doing your content, is you've got to promote it. You have to share it. Anywhere I've seen a lot of people that, the #1 mistake that a lot of people make is they spend, 80% of their time writing the content and then 20% of their time promoting it. It needs to kind of be a little flip-flopped, because unfortunately the internet is not the field of dreams. If you build it, they won't necessarily come because it's such a huge place they don't know. And so you've kind of got to send up your signals so people know. And one of the ways you send those signals is sharing on the social media platforms. But other takeaways, numbered lists are good. They're using headlines to kind of draw the attention. So as I was kind of scanning through here, I'm like, not much of a basketball fan. Ooh, I like giraffes. So I'm reading this section to find out more. Ways that they could have taken this further, but they haven't, is include links to these places like the Oklahoma City Zoo. So that way, if I was really excited about giraffes but I wanted to know where to do it, I could then get that information, because search engines do look to see if you're linking to other sites on yours. So this just really kind of keeps going on for stuff. So this, not quite what I would expect for a how-to guide. But this is me personally, so it really depends on who you're targeting as your customer. If you think that your target customer would be more interested in, here are the things to do, I think honestly this would be better title of 30 things to do in Oklahoma City, rather than things to know before you move. And then that's just kind of my 2 cents on that. And we'll look here to see, because this could actually wind up being a a good one that you could really go after. So you may see, you know, relocating in wherever your area is, if that's a niche you want to go after. See who's already ranking well, because I guarantee you I can give them better information than I'm finding. Because again, this one's a little bit better. Because you've still got, these are links and buttons that people can go to interact with more to the sites. For me, there's way too much movement going on this page, because I keep going, oh, and then getting distracted. So that's something else to consider, is I probably would not have more than one moving element on the page at a time. So if you're building your own pages, just design tip to keep in mind. Because if people are looking for information, this can sometimes be a bit overwhelming. So yeah. All right, so since we've got that, let's go back to our little page. Is we've got these different items. So if the focus for this that I'm wanting to do is kind of to highlight different areas of the city that people might be looking to live in, and even some different bedroom communities, then I might actually want to change this title. So instead of things to know about relocating to Oklahoma City, of you know, top 10 neighborhoods in E. There you go. You know, top 10 neighborhoods to consider when relocating to Oklahoma City. So that's a bit better title for it. And then we could do, you know, you'd list a neighborhood here, and similar to how the 30 had the picture, the paragraph, then the next number, you could do something similar here. The original format I had in mind for this was, I should change this to a list, was that I would just kind of list similar to where we had the 1, the 2, so I wasn't going to put pictures in there. So, but seeing that would be a good idea. And the way you do that, this picture's just a little bit big. Let me get rid of that. So to add a picture, you put your cursor where you want it to go, and then click on the image manager. Usually, there we go. And then let's see if I'm gonna look at our archive images, see if we've got anything good in there, because that was a really big picture. Yeah, that's another really big picture, I know. Oh, well, I'm going to pick it. So you could pick whatever picture you've got. If you need to upload it, you just click the upload button, click insert, and it's going to put it right in there for you. And then if I wanted to do this one, I'm holding down the shift key when I hit enter. That keeps it from making it a number 2. You can also write something in Word and then copy and paste it. So that's another way you could do this as well. And then I honestly think that the better format might be, I did like how they had the option, the picture, then the information, so that's good because that encourages people to read. I'm not going to do that, but you guys kind of get the idea, especially me showing real life websites that are ranking well and kind of helping you dissect your takeaways from that, as to what can get, how you can kind of work to achieve similar rank with yours. The other thing too that I'm going to go talk about as well that I don't see enough people doing move this over the screen real quick so I can find it again. Let's bring that back up. Is optimizing your page titles and descriptions. What do I mean by those? Your page title is what's going to show up up here in the tab, and the description is what's going to show up in a list of search results. So let's pull that back up side by side. Okay. Some things from just looking at these. You could do a changing, the page title needs to stand out from what's already there, but still kind of set the right expectation, because again, that's another ultimate thing, is you want to make sure that this is going to be somebody's first impression of you potentially. So you want to make sure that the right expectations are kind of being set from the get-go. So since we've kind of retooled the page to be more, relocating to Oklahoma City, don't know what neighborhoods to look in, is kind of the mindset that I'm in right now, is, choose the lifestyle you're looking for. And we're going to do for some reason I can't type neighborhoods today. Okay, so you do want to keep it short, because this one is too long and it got cut off. So if somebody's looking at this, 30 things I need to know about Oklahoma City before what? I move, which is what the case was, before football season. You could get very much like that. And so the title is what shows up here with, it's the blue link that people see, as well as what shows up in the tab. So this is really strong because it's going to stand out. It's going to stand out among even the one that has the 30 things, because who's got time to read 30 things? I got about halfway through that list and I'm going, thanks. This keywords box, you don't really need to use it anymore. Search engines, Google, Bing, and Yahoo don't even really look at it, just because you can put whatever you want in here, and people would used to abuse it, and not necessarily in our system, but just generally speaking internet-wide, where they would put in things that weren't relevant to the page at hand. Or you had people that had really great content but didn't know the under the hood elements of it, which this area kind of gets a little bit under the hood, but the interface is really easy to use. And because the people that were doing it themselves didn't know to get under the hood, they kind of were a little handicapped in that way, that they couldn't get achieve the same effects that the people that could afford to hire the designers and technicians to do that for them did. So again, don't need to worry about the keywords box. That's why there's nothing in there right now. We do pre-populate it with some relevant terms. You can delete those, you can change them. I'm just telling you not to worry about that too much either way. The other big important thing in this little section for the search engine tools is this page description. I liked the choose your lifestyle. There we go. Actually, move that to the top. There we go. Choose your lifestyle. Usually 2 to 3 short sentences, because you only have, I don't remember the character count, but it's around 200 characters. I think it's a little bit more than that. before it will kind of truncate with the little ellipsis here. This one's really, really good because I get the full page in for, the full title, and I get to see the full description, versus not being quite sure what's going on or what to expect, because if you don't put that in there, it's going to default and grab whatever the first couple of lines of content is for the page. So this is another good place to kind of catch their attention, start setting that expectation. This is where you proverbially hit them over the hammer with it of, this is what this page is about, click this to get the result you're expecting. That's the biggest thing, is how often have you clicked on something on the internet and it hasn't been what you expected it to be, or didn't really meet your expectations. This is how one of the ways that you combat your site's bounce rate, which, it does go in, it's a pretty decently sized weighting factor when it comes to your site. So that is the search engine tools there. I've got about 10 minutes left. If nobody else has a question, I'm going to show you another way to help reduce bounce rate on your site, because it does go along with the linking. If you do have a question, I'm going to dive into that real quick. Go ahead and type it in. I'll still go ahead and answer it. All right, so I'm going to save and continue because we may be using this for the same thing. Okay, so we covered I think, oh no, here, yeah. I forgot I set this last time, so let me grab the properties of this so I don't have to relook up that link. One of the mistakes that I do see happen is, people in trying to link to other sites on their website, which they should be doing and which you should be doing, is that if you're linking to somebody else's site, you have it set to where it opens in the same window, and then your site gets lost. So the best way to do that is to, again, you're going to highlight whatever you're wanting to make the link. You're going to go up to the link manager, which looks like a little globe with a chain on it. Paste in whatever web address that you're going to. This is the important step when doing this. Tell it to target a new window. So let's go ahead and click, let me save that. And I'm going to go to the blog on this and see if I've still got that one set up so you can see. It's not going to be the page we just looked at, but so that way you can see exactly why it's important. Okay. Yeah, okay. This one, it's one of our railway museums. This link that I just clicked on is set up to be a link, so it is linking to another site like like I'm suggesting to do. When I set this up, well, in this case purposefully, set it up without specifying to open it in a new window, because the default's going to be the same one. And as a result, if somebody clicks on this and they go through different pages, navigate, okay, I'm done with that, they close the tab, my site is gone. Either that or they have to go back through however many pages they went through just to get back to where they were doing. Versus we've got the link here that's set up in the way I just showed you, where you're specifying new window when you're setting up the link to the other site. It's just going to open up in a new window or tab. How that behavior works depends on the individual browser setting of the person viewing your site. But because I can go I always forget this is sound, but because I can go to any one of these, navigate, cool, I got all the information I want, close out of it, hey, your site's still hanging out there. That does not count as a bounce rate. So if you've got links on some of your pages to other sites, just do a quick audit, double check and make sure that they're set to open in a new window, because since your site's still around, still active, it's not seen as leaving your site, which is what the bounce rate occurs as. The other thing too that you may hear in conjunction with bounce rate is click-through rate. The optimizing your page title and description that I talked about just minutes ago, that's another tactic that you can use to improve the likelihood that somebody would click, in this list of items, that somebody would click the information. Because honestly, even though this is dated from 2010, this I think would be more beneficial, or this one even, than anything that I really got out of these top couple. So if people click on these, hit back, that's affecting these sites' bounce rate. But people that will actually take the time to look and read, and if you've got a good description, you've got a good page title, this sets the expectation of what I expect to get. So that's why those things are very important. All right, we've got about 3 minutes left. Any final questions? This will be up on YouTube a little bit later today. So if you missed anything or you want to kind of go back and watch it again, you'll be able to do that. It'll also be added to our help section of our site as well. All right, well, if I don't have any other questions, you guys have a wonderful day and have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you again at 3 o'clock Central on Tuesday. If you go to our training page, which you used to join the site, it should show in your local time. Thanks, guys.